Their eyes met. Ji's heart raced for a moment, as she instinctively balled her hands into a fist. This was the first time they truly looked at each other that night. His eyes were cold and emotionless, as though they'd never met before. Trapped in a daze, Ji couldn't pull her eyes away. For some reason, neither could Hee-Jae-kun. Just like that, the two of them stared at each other through the dense rain. A gust of wind blew in by chance, causing Ji's whole body to shiver. Hee-Jae-kun gently furrowed his brows at this sight, as though her actions woke him from his trance. After he continued to stare at her for 2 more seconds, he pulled his gaze back, pretending like nothing happened. Freed from his gaze, Ji relaxed. She pushed herself up from the ground and started to climb up when Hee-Jae-kun suddenly looked over at her again. Ji tensed up a little. Seeing as Hee-Jae-kun had no intention of looking away, she quickly shot him a glance and saw that he was staring at her arm. Instinctively, she lowered her head to find that she grazed her arm when she fell. Blood trickled endlessly down her arm but was quickly washed clean by the rain. Even if Ji didn't look at him, she still could feel his gaze upon her. Ji didn't know why Hee-Jae-kun was staring at her wound, nor did she bother to figure out why. She just thought the way he was looking at her was a little odd, so she hid her arm behind her, and her eyes discreetly drifted over to where he stood. He had already looked away. With his eyes lowered, he held his umbrella with a lifeless look on his face, pondering about something. Ji didn't waste her time on Hee-Jae-kun. Instead, she tried to endure the pain radiating from her arm and got up. Her knee was also injured. Though it wasn't anything serious, it hurt quite a bit under the torrential pour of rain. For just a moment, she felt like she couldn't tolerate the pain any longer, so she let out a soft yelp. Perhaps it was because Hee-Jae-kun was standing next to her that Ji naturally glanced over at his frame. When he heard her cry, his eyes darted towards her again. It really was just a quick glance. His eyes fell on her body for no more than a second before he averted his eyes. His eyes barely blinked, let alone showed any expression on his face. It was like the shivering woman in the heavy rain didn't exist at all. He turned around heartlessly while carrying his umbrella and casually walked away. After Hee-Jae-kun's silhouette had faded, Ji blinked softly and snapped back to her senses. She staggered slightly as she walked towards the front door. Back in the dorms, her 3 roommates had already finished brushing their teeth and washing their faces and were already in their respective beds. Bohee wore a face mask, Tangwa was playing Arena of Valor, and Linya was applying skincare products while on speakerphone with who knows who. Bohee was the first to spot Ji. At first, she was stunned, then abruptly sat up in bed. "Shaoib, why are you all wet and dirty?" "It's nothing." Ji curved her lips into a smile at Bohee, then grabbed a towel and a change of clothes as she headed for the bathroom. "And your arm, how did you hurt it?" Bohee climbed out of bed and caught up to Ji.